Oh my God, your poor dad.
There's only one person here that can start us off, and I think I know who it is. Roman.
I think.
Can you... I can't handle the sounds of him chewing. Can you please get him to chew not on his arm?
What do you want him to chew on?
Something else. Just put him in that fucking bean bag. Bean bag.
Bing bag.
Bing bag. He's bing bag.
Bing bag body baby.
Your dog is like literally, he's suffering.
fine.
He's suffering. Look at him. Look at his face.
Look at his face.
He's so itchy.
Listen.
Imagine living like that.
We're
That's
all
sad.
doing our best, okay? Why do you think I buy all of the things to make him better?
I know it, but I just feel bad for him.
You want me to put him down?
Put him out of his misery.
Let's put him out of... We're all in misery.
Okay, have you guys seen the TikTok of the grandma who's getting euthanasia?
No.
It's really fucking sad. Like, I couldn't handle it the other day. I usually have like a pretty thick skin. I can like take on things from the internet, but like that I could not do it because she was like, yeah, I'm just like ready. Like, I'm done suffering. And it's just, imagine getting to that part of your life.
Do that?
Well, they're in Canada.
So you can do that.
So
in
euthanasia
Canada?
is, which by the way, like, who, when they were younger, did not think that it was youth in Asia?
Me? I didn't even think that.
You always knew it was euthanasia?
Yeah, like, because you euthanize.
I know, but like when you hear the word euthanasia and it's like on television, you're not like, what does euthanasia have to do with you killing yourself?
Well, here's the thing about me. Big words like that just really went in one ear, out the other until I was like old enough to comprehend. And then I kind of realized. So I wasn't a little kid going, euthanasia.
Well, I'm extremely cerebral. So I was like, youth in Asia, what do they have to do with...
You know what?
Why are they
killing everybody?
So why is the youth in Asia killing everyone?
I support the euthanasia.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to say what is happening here and intro us?
I want to say welcome back to Your Poor Dad. You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcast. So thank you for being here and being the fourth rant sister.
Thank you for being here and being the fourth.
It sounded like you said daddy. Daddy? You said welcome to Your Poor Daddy.
Yeah, welcome to Your Poor Daddy.
Welcome to Your Poor Daddy.
So I think we just need to get like right into it because there has been a lot that has happened since our last episode. We did one little episode in between, and that was the Vanderpump Rules finale recap episode where Baily was like, I'm not going to record. And we're like, okay, fine.
Well, and I said, I'm not going to record it beforehand. And then Paige said, yeah, that's going to be fine. And then Jade said, what? No, I said, we'll see. What?
Well, it was probably for the best anyways, because I don't think me or Paige could have let you get a word in edgewise.
And I listened to you guys, and you guys did a great job.
Paige
Mom
was on fucking fire.
Yeah, Mom called me, and she said, do I need to call Kevin, my therapist? And I said, no, I'm fine. She said, I don't think you're fine.
Mom even brought it up to everyone. She's like, Paige, when she gets upset, she is on a roll.
Honey, that's why Xtina was born on October 31st, 2019.
Honey. And that's when you got into therapy. That's a whole different... Go back a couple episodes or, you know...
Probably, yeah.
Just listen to all the episodes to find the Xtina story.
Yeah,
it's like a little, like, needle in a haystack.
Needle in a head stack.
And a head stack. In between our last episode, our last, like, real girthy episode, I went to Spain.
España?
España, yes.
Okay, tell us about
Went
it.
to Majorca, which I just learned today was Baily's bucket list
Yeah, that's like my bucket list place.
And you know what? Like, what about Majorca tickled your pickle?
Well, one of my professors at UT, Hookham, said that he's from Mallorca, and he said, this is the best part of España. And he said that that's like the best beach, and it's the best place to be that's like not like overrun with like tourism.
Really?
And so, yeah, that was also like 7 years ago. So,
Oh, well,
maybe it has been overrun with riffraff like you popping in.
Majorca is beautiful. It was very rainy while I was there. And it was kind of chilly, so we didn't get to do like beachy things, but we did do a boat day, which was really fun. I was there for Mr. Robert's friend's wedding, and it was such a gorgeous wedding. And you know, when like, I've been to so many weddings, and not to just like be a bitch, but like a lot of them, you don't really feel the love, you know?
Yeah. Keep going because I just feel like I don't agree.
Well, I feel like I've been to a lot more weddings than you.
Also, the picture that you took, that you posted of that like
I feel like
venue was fucking stunning.
I've been to way more weddings than you.
I feel like you haven't.
Okay, well, we can do a tally mark later
Okay.
of how many weddings we've been to.
And
Anyway,
that's also
the
like
picture-
really sad that you think that like you've been to the weddings and you can't feel the love.
Well, no, I think sometimes you feel the love more than others, and I think other people like create an ambiance of like they're better storytellers of their love.
Okay.
And I think that other people like maybe it's more of a private thing, and it's like you can't really feel the love as much, you know?
Or it's like, this is an event that has to be put on, and it's like a...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But like you could just feel like in their speeches, they had like long like vows to each other where they kind of like gave their heart and soul out in front of everyone, and like everyone was crying, and like I think it got like Mr. Roberts really like in the lovey-dovey mood too.
Is
you
that why
cry?
you guys did a hard launch?
He had like hard eyes for me. I just like looked over, and it was like he was like
He had
looking
the
at me.
emoji face.
Yeah, he was like the emoji face, and I was like, yes. You know, that's what you want to do. Like when you're like really trying to like lock it down with a guy, take him to a really, really good
Knock
wedding.
him down.
Yeah.
knock him out.
Hold him down, and then just
You're
wrap
trying
him
to
up.
knock him down and get a ring.
Yeah, no. But it was like we are kind of in that like super like lovey-dovey phase where you're just like, this is like you're like in the lavender haze phase. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where you're
You're
just like,
living in your lap.
You just want to stay in the lavender haze.
yeah, you're like, this is the part of the movie where I'm like skipping down the street, like clicking my heels together, and it's like dun 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 dun.
Okay, well, don't compare it to a movie because you know at that part of the movie something happens.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like that part of the movie, then the other shoe drops. So that's what I'm so scared about, because like I'm like so like, you know, in this lavender haze boyfriend cloud, like in LOVE, and I'm just like, oh my god, like please don't take this away from me.
Remember that Ashley Simpson song?
What?
L-O-L-O-L-O-L-O-V-E.
Yeah, but as a whole, I have some notes for my trip because like I was a few glasses of wine deep on the plane, and I was just kind of like writing down some notes.
Well,
like
I have one question.
okay,
Does the rain in Spain fall mainly on the plane?
what is that from?
Oh, never mind.
Okay,
What is that from?
It's from like an old movie. I think it's Audrey Hepburn.
Oh.
Oh. It's extremely relevant to our audience. Let us know if you know that quote. Okay, so I watched The Whale on the plane
Why?
because I was like in the mood to cry. And trust me, it's going to bring out the tears.
That's why I haven't watched it.
I think you should watch it.
Really?
I've heard really mixed reviews.
Okay, I've seen a lot of reviews. I think the people who are a little bit more, I'm just going to say it, woke and sensitive, I think I can see why they don't like it. But I think like if you're just looking at it from like purely a cinematic, like you're telling someone's story. I think Brendan Fraser did such a fucking good job. Like you just truly feel like this person, you see like what a good person he is, and like how like he had this amazing life and why it deteriorated to what it is now. And it just like breaks.
How is Sadie?
She's so good, but she's such a nasty, nasty bitch.
She's supposed to be.
I know, but it's like it's a little too much of a nasty bitch where you're just like, it's hard to find the redeeming quality in her character. Like there's really no redeeming quality, but it just feels so real. Like the acting is so fucking good. And I get why people are like, oh, you know, I actually don't. Like what morbidly obese actor is going to play this? Like, is there a morbidly obese actor that is acting?
I don't know.
Well, then good. They should have done it. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get canceled for saying this. I think that the part of acting is like pushing boundaries, and like, I could be wrong, but I thought he did a fucking amazing job. The only thing that really sucked is like watching him eat himself to death. Like it is truly just it, and you just hear the sounds and you see how desperate you are. And like I've been in places where like I just want to eat. Like I want to eat to fill a hole. Like it's not like that level, but
That's the point of it, though.
yeah.
It starts somewhere.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like, you have to be in the mood to be like this. I'm about to be depressed for like 2 hours. So a plane is a great place for that. Yeah.
I love sad movies, so I'll watch it.
What are your other notes?
Okay. I listened to Gwyneth Paltrow on Call Her Daddy.
Wait, I listened to half of that.
You did? What do you think?
I love Gwyneth, so I really liked it. I loved early on when they talked about Apple being there.
Yeah.
I love that Apple was just there like with her mom, and she was probably really excited to meet Alex Cooper.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like a cute dynamic between mom and daughter.
Yeah.
And I just really like hearing Gwyneth be so open about talking about her life.
Yeah, because Gwyneth is she's so relatable, but like unrelatable at the same time.
Absolutely.
And she's so fucking charming. She's one of the most charming people I've ever listened to on a podcast.
Yeah, and whenever she was talking about Brad Pitt, because I think it was Alex Cooper that was like, I mean, not many people can say that they dated Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth's like, she's like, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she knows how wild that is.
She makes you feel like you are one of her girlfriends and you're just like out to lunch with her and she's like, all right, let's like talk all the shit.
Yeah, I liked listening to her.
One of the things that I really, really liked about it is that she talked about being one of her only friends that had gone through a divorce, which is so fucking relatable for me, because I feel like right now I'm trying to like process emotions around my divorce, because I feel like I never really processed it. And why did you guys look at each other like that?
Just like, do you remember when mom was like, you need to process this? You were like, I did.
Well, I did, but
mom
like,
was like, you will at some point. And I guess that point is now.
No, mom didn't say it quite like that. But like, I also think that like you don't need to process things right away. Like, why do we have to like process everything? Like, can't we just like get through a situation and then fucking like once you're healed a little bit and can like think clear-headed about it?
Well, you don't want to touch everything when the emotions are so raw.
Right. And I
need to be able to approach that situation without it being like so stinging.
And mom like loves just getting in the dirt, and she's like, you haven't processed your divorce. And it's like
she wants you to.
She just, I know, like, but like maybe
she slowly approached you and you were like, no.
I know, because like I'm not ready to process it yet, and
I
now
need 5 years.
And why is that? You always say shit like that. Like, it's like so like condescending almost. Like, I need 5 years. Like, is that not like what is an appropriate amount of time to process?
No, I was on your side about it. It's not that
it sounded like you weren't.
It's not that it's the length of time. It's the only thing that's funny to me is mom knew that you hadn't processed your feelings about the divorce and everything, and you kept saying, yes, I have. Yes, I have. And she was
I
like,
had processed the feelings that I needed to process up until that point. Like, I processed the feelings that I was going through at that point, but then now I can look at it from a bird's eye view where I'm like, oh, okay, these are the lessons I've learned. But like, I had processed everything I could possibly process up to that moment. But there's only so much you can process when you go through something like all this shit. Like, I won't get into on here. I mean, maybe one day if you guys want to pay me, I'll tell you all the dirty little deeds. But, you know, but I don't think that's wrong to like not want to process like every single thing. And like processing is not linear. It's like a fucking roller coaster. It's like one day I've processed like, okay, this chunk of it. Now I'm processing it in a different way because it's all like so far past me.
Yeah, you can't do it all at once. It has to scab for you to be able to go back under it. It can't just be an open wound the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, back to the good parts of my life. Me and Mr. Roberts, super like lovey-dovey Europe trip. It was like crazy because we had like a 21-hour travel day together. And then I was like, I miss you. I was like, do you want to like spend the night together? And he was like, yes, of course I do. So then I was like, okay. So we are just like in the boyfriend cloud phase.
Wow. I love that for you.
Thanks. What about you guys?
I went on a date yesterday.
How'd it go?
It went well.
Is that it? Is that all we're gonna get?
Go on. Well, what I loved is, first of all, it was a very casual date, no pressure. I like that.
I liked what you said to him when you were like, he was like, okay, because you guys kind of know each other.
Yeah.
So you were like, we're just like, if it doesn't work out,
yeah, we're just hanging out. And if at the end of our hangout, if we liked it, like it was a date. But if we didn't, then we were just two friends hanging out. And it's no big deal. But because I kind of know him, I was really nervous because I can't be as
what's the word, rude as I normally would be with a
'Cause you guys
stranger.
know each other?
Because we know each other.
And also you like probably shouldn't be so rude to people.
Right. But as soon as so I was just really nervous, and as soon as I walk into the bar, this lady at the bar was like, "Oh, you are so gorgeous." And that was exactly what I needed to just start this little
You know what I
hangout
was
game.
thinking after you told me that? I think that there should be a service of like you paying
right.
people to go to a bar to like pump you the fuck up in front of your first date, or
And
like
she
the second
was-
or third or fourth.
And
or fifth.
she would not stop either. Like she would like wait a few minutes, and then she'd be like, "No, seriously, you are adorable. Isn't she adorable? Oh my gosh, let me see the shoes. What kind of shoes are those? Steve Madden. Let me see your outfit. You are just so cute." I was like, "Can I take you with me everywhere?"
Yeah.
The bartender was like, "Girl, you don't want that." But I said, "Maybe."
Yeah, that's how I feel whenever like Your Poor Dad listeners come up to us, like when I'm with Mr. Roberts, and they're like, "Oh my God, I love Your Poor Dad so much," because like, you know, when you have a podcast, like everyone has a podcast, and then it's kind of like losery. But then when you actually see the fruit of your labor in front of like somebody who you're like, you know, like you really like, it's so like satisfying.
That's what we should have, like bathroom attendants, but like the girls like in the bathroom, like the drunk girls in the bathroom, they should be like gassing you up.
Yeah.
No,
Like, that's
you
what
need
we
it.
need.
No, you need it in person, like in front of the guy.
Okay, so bar attendants.
No, you just need like somebody who's like going to be sitting at the table next to you guys. And then you need them to be like, "Oh my God, you're adorable."
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that shirt.
Wait, I love that outfit. Where'd you get that?
It looks so good on you.
You have such good style. I don't know if it's your style or if it's your overall being. Like you are just
Look at your
exuding
hair.
confidence and personality and pizzazz. Someone should lock that down.
Somebody should.
Somebody should lock it down.
Yeah,
anyways,
so
that was really fun, and hopefully we hang out again soon.
Do you think I'm being unbearable right now?
No.
Right at this exact moment.
I would say zero stars of unbearableness.
Well, let's see what everyone else has to say.
Unbearability.
Okay, so just to give you guys some backstory, we got a review that said, "I used to love the podcast, but lately Jade is becoming more unbearable by the week. She's super condescending and thinks she's right in every way, no matter if she is proven wrong, and it's getting pretty old." And to that I have to say, tell me you're a middle child without telling me you're a middle child. Every older sister is condescending and always
Wait,
right.
was that from Princess Leia?
That's probably Baily probably wrote that.
Good news for you. So far, the votes are just like a little bit more than 50%, probably like 55% that you are unbearable.
And truly, like, I
Okay.
don't give a fuck if anyone thinks I'm unbearable. This is
Also,
the point
the
of a
slidey
podcast
things-
with a sister dynamic. Like, you're going to find your person in one of us. And if you don't like me, there's two other ones to like.
Truly.
Baily, what's going on with you?
Well, today I went to Little Nicky's. It was so good.
What's Little Nicky's?
So it's there's a couple locations, but the one we went to was in Hyde Park. It's like on the street I used to live on. And I posted a picture of Sticks, and it was funny because I posted and I said, "Having ourselves a day," because we were really like on one. And then your friend Patrick responded, and it was all caps, LO ... was the preview. And I was like, "Oh my God, is he laughing at Sticks? LOL. But he said, "Love Little Nicky's. This is the best place ever." And it was a very good. We had a little Aperol Spritz and an espresso martini. An Aperol
We don't even know what you do.
Sticks.
Okay. Keep your Aperol
split to yourself.
It was so fun, though.
That's great.
Yeah.
We love to hear it.
Yeah. And then I took Sticks to the international beer store, gas station that I used to go to. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just giving you a little tour of my old neighborhood." I could not get him out of the place. He's like, "Oh my God, should I get a flag? Should I get whatever?" Like, there's a little scratch off. It was his friend's birthday, so we got him a little scratch off and a flag. And it was great. And we went to Bolden Acres.
Nice.
Wow. You really had yourself a day.
And I got the high score on Pop Shots.
Good for you. You know what we missed out at Bolden Acres yesterday?
What?
The Spritz pickleball tournament.
Oh, I didn't even know that was going on.
I know it.
So I was just in Keller.
Killer.
Where that was good.
Wait, I have to tell you something.
What?
One of my friends that I used to cheer with messaged me saying that she's been waiting every episode to hear about the poopy pizza.
Oh, we can tell.
So we're gonna have to.
We'll have. That's a whole other episode. That's like we got to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
with
So
that
maybe
one.
that can be like next. Well, not the Vanderpump episode, but the
Yeah.
next full episode, because the people are waiting.
Okay, we will talk about the time that my high school was on national
News.
I think we
about
should
a
get
big
like
pizza.
some rival, like
I do
people
have
writing in
rival
about
friends.
rivalries.
I do have rival friends that we can bring into.
Yeah,
this.
but I think that'd be fun if people like wrote in about like their high school.
Oh,
rivals.
okay. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, so I was in Killer to pick up my dog because like everyone's like, oh, Jade is just this fucking deadbeat dog mom. I took my dog to the most safe place I could ever think of, my parents' house.
Who says that?
You all. Paige and mom, they love talking about how, oh, Jade leaves her dog there.
But I
all
made
the
a
time.
great joke about you having your visitation time with him, and you said, "Ha ha 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 ha." I was
Okay,
like, that was a
it's
good
also
joke.
just funny. You make it sound like everyone's always talking about you being a deadbeat, and it's like
'cause she
literally
feels that way.
I'm
She
the
feels
only one
bad.
that says that.
Okay, anyways, before I get fucking triggered.
Too late.
So I dropped Hank off at my parents' house because let me just tell you my European travel day.
Okay.
I took a jet suite to, which by the way, JSX, please fucking sponsor me. It is the most luxurious experience you could possibly have traveling from Austin to Dallas. You get there 15 minutes before your flight boards. You have your dog. You walk onto the plane. They give you a Bloody Mary with Zing Zang, which is the best Bloody Mary mix. And you are just in and out of there. You land in Dallas 30 minutes later, walk off the plane. And right when you walk off the plane, that's where the Ubers are. And then you're to Keller. It's less than maybe 2 hours. No, maybe less than like an hour and a half. The whole shebang from door to door.
That's
Imagine.
badass.
It was very badass. So if you are in the market for a very nice, quick experience, go with JSX.
Did you have to buy Hank a ticket?
No, he's a service animal. Yeah, but it's like very, very calm and easy. And like, you know, when you go to airports and everyone's just acting a fucking fool. I don't know what is wrong with people in this country where they just have to act so psychotic in airports.
Did you see that one video on TikTok? I saw it so many times of the guy who was like, first of all, the way he was walking, people were like, no one realizes he's practicing for the runway. The way he's like, ooh, 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 he's just like strutting his stuff, but he just like bypasses through TSA and security. So everyone's telling him to stop, and he's just like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, yeah, and then they
tase him.
Yes.
And he won't stop, so they keep tasing him, and he will not stop. The funniest part about it is everyone in the background's like eating. If you look at one new person, like each time you watch it, it's really funny to watch the people,
seen
the
that guy.
bystanders. That is unhinged at an airport.
It's unhinged. And imagine just you show up, you get to the place, you sit for 15 minutes, you walk right onto the plane, Starlink Wi-Fi, which is the best Wi-Fi ever. The Wi-Fi on the plane in the air is better than the Wi-Fi at mom and dad's house, which fucking sucks. And then you get on the plane, you're in the plane for 30 to 45 minutes, land, get out, Uber's right there. I cannot express how easy it is enough. So anyways, drop Hank off, then I fly to fucking Europe. What was I talking about?
Well, you were talking about the travel
Oh,
experience.
I dropped Hank off. And then I had to pick Hank back up. Because I flew I had to pick Hank back up. So then I flew back into Austin with Mr. Roberts. So then I had to get my fucking dog. So I had to drive up to Keller, see mom and dad. And of course, what do we talk about? This European fucking vacation we're doing in September, which Paige is cracking her neck because this is like the pain in the neck of Paige's life. And you know what? I am so glad I did not book the same flight as you guys because like I truly cannot be around you guys, you mom and dad on this.
I'm not going to be able to really talk to anybody on the plane. I have so much anxiety being on a plane that long. Like I'm going to have to be sleepy or just listening to music or podcasts the entire time. Like I need to really calm down. I'm stressed.
You need to calm down. You're going to need to we're going to need to get you medicated. I
know.
think. And because like, luckily European airports, like there's a lot of English, but there's a lot of like running around. There's like a lot of like stress in between the layovers, but like you've got this, you know, but I just don't want to be around you.
I'm just stressed in the plane itself.
In the plane itself? Oh, that's the least stressful part.
Once it takes off and then once it lands, it's like the in between is just boring.
No, well, not recently, Clark, because the anxiety that I have that I am stuck on a plane that like I can't get out. Like the last flight I had, I think it was only like 4 hours, which is still a long time. But I was starting to like really get anxious and like panicky. I'm like, I need to get the fuck off this flight because I was just really noticing how close everyone was to me and how I'm like, oh, is it hot in here? Is it just me?
You know what? We're going to get you some medication for that. I think you need to just like knock yourself out and it'll be fine. You get like
everyone can just weekend at Bernie's me to the connecting flights.
Then you can just have like a little movie. It's like a nice little luxurious experience.
Yeah, babies do it. We'll just knock you out, give you an iPad, headphones.
Yeah.
But so finally I was booking my flight, and the problem with booking this flight is that we're booking it with mom, and mom is truly the love you so much, mom, and she's gonna be yelling at her phone when she is listening to this, but it's like I cannot think of a more complicated way of telling somebody an itinerary than mom.
There is no itinerary.
There's no itinerary. And then the itinerary she gave us, the Google Doc,
I really hope I can find it.
Truly so, I'm like, all I need to know is what day you're leaving, what day you're getting there, and where the fuck we're going. And then I will find the flight path that works best for me to get there. And I was like, I want to fly Delta because I want to rack up my Delta miles. I'm already like accumulating Delta miles. Delta miles. And I want to get there. And she's like, well, I really prefer if you do American Airlines. I'm like, I'm not fucking flying American Airlines. Just tell me.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Just let me do what I need to do. I will find a way to get there. Just tell me where I fucking need to go. And she's like, okay, we're going to Salzburg. I'm like, okay, there's no like direct flight to Salzburg, so we have to go to Frankfurt. I'm like, okay, so I fly on my Delta flight to Frankfurt, and then I find like a European flight from Frankfurt to Salzburg. So I'm like, okay, what airline are you flying from Frankfurt to Salzburg? Well, I booked on Expedia, and you don't know how. I'm like, I don't need your whole fucking life story.
Just tell me what airline
Just tell me what fucking air. I don't even need to know what airline. Just tell me what time you're landing in Salzburg. That's all I need to know. And she's like, you're such a bitch. And I'm like, you are impossible to deal with.
Well, you shouldn't have asked the airline. You should have said what.
I don't even remember. Time? But then our parents, we're going with another family that is so much fun. I think we're gonna have like the best time ever.
It's gonna be so good.
But like our parents' friend Angie is helping me, and she's like, "Oh yeah, like this is what we have. This is what what time I'm getting in. This is what blah blah blah." And mom's over here just like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, and Angie's like so sweet. She's like, no, if this was me and my daughter, like we would be having like this kind of interaction too. So it's like easier for me because you're like not my child. But it was just like, I cannot tell you. And then of course, like I'm booking it on mom's credit card and I'm going to pay mom back. And dad walks in and dad's just like,
oh God.
Let me tell you another thing about dad. Dad acts like he has 2 cents to his name. I cannot handle how cheap that fucking man is.
Well, because what if he loses one of those cents and then he
can't put them together?
Dad is always thinking about like, dad always acts like he has 2 pennies to his name in the world and he owes the world $5 million.
Yeah.
And so our poor dad, he bought this huge like wok. Or hibachi girl. Why? I don't know. But because he got it for $200 on Facebook Marketplace.
That's why he got it.
It's the only reason why he got it. And
that's why he got the huge ass karaoke machine too, because it was only $200 from Facebook Marketplace.
It's a good deal. So, and he keeps telling me over and over and over again, like he's Rain Man. This whole cart that the hibachi girl is sitting on is over $1,000. Not even including the hibachi girl itself. So like, this is just the deal of the century. I'm like, that's amazing. One of the knobs for like the burners is gone. So dad is on the computer trying to find the knob. And he's like, oh, on Amazon it says $66. That seems ridiculous. I'm like, just Google the knob and see if it comes up on eBay or whatever. And Dad's like, okay. He's like, everywhere says $50 to $60, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, well, it looks like you're going to have to pay.
Just get it from Amazon and then you'll get it in 2 days.
Right. And like, you paid $200 for the fucking thing and you've already told us how much money it's worth.
And you're
Why don't you just
excited
rehab
about
it? And he's over here. He's like, oh my God. And he's checking it out and he's grumbling to himself. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is $13 for shipping. Fuck. And he's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm doing this. It's like someone had a gun to his head and it was like, give me $3 million.
Make this hibachi work or else.
I was like, Dad, it's okay.
I am surprised that he even did that instead of just outfitting some pliers on it and turning it.
I'm surprised he didn't find like a cap from an old spray paint bottle.
Yeah,
He
melt it to that. Or
I know.
Zip tie something onto it.
So that was like my weekend with Mom and Dad. Then we go and we have like a cute little dinner at their friend's house, and we booked this European trip. So we have to bring I want to bring our podcast equipment to Europe, but like I can only bring a carry-on. So I don't know. Maybe it's like less clothes, more podcasting.
Or if we just bring the...
We can figure it out later.
We'll talk offline.
I feel like Paige is getting stressed thinking about going to Europe.
You have no idea. I already asked Mom. I said, okay, luggage wise, what am I allowed to bring? Because she gave us those tiny little suitcases.
I'm not bringing that.
And I said, is that what you're considering your carry-on? Or
No.
are you? And she said, that and another suitcase. And I'm like, okay, well, what about a backpack? Does my backpack have to fit in? And so I'm already so stressed.
No, here's what you need.
I need to plan my outfits literally 3 months ahead of time.
I know. So I think
cannot handle a 3-day vacation.
I will
have to
help
try
you.
on every single outfit.
You'll need some things that are gonna like take you a couple days. You know, like
And
a
Mom
couple.
does not like to plan to rewear the same.
No, but
because
Mom said that we'll have a washer and dryer.
Yeah, and then we'll also like you could have like a pair of like trousers or whatever, like you know, like a pair of jeans, and then you'll wear those multiple times, and then you'll just bring a bunch of basics to like mix it up. You'll be totally fine.
I'm gonna be okay.
And then and then all you need is a little carry-on roller bag and then a backpack, and then you're gonna be fine. Like you really don't need like that many clothes. Like I way overpacked for the trip I was on, and I only overpacked because it was like a wedding, so like I needed like certain things like shoes and shit, you know.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna need that. We're gonna need like fun walking shoes.
Yeah.
You're gonna be good. And we're gonna vlog the whole thing so everyone can be right in that anxiety trip with you.
I think if we vlog everything, I'll be more pleasant.
You'll
And
be
I think
so
like
breezy.
we need you, like we need the Paige cam. Like we need
Should
to
I
see
just have
you.
a GoPro?
We need you being
Strap
like
it to your forehead.
we need you like in the airplane bathroom, like I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Because are you on the same plane as Mom and Dad, or just you two?
No, we're all 4 of us.
Oh,
on the
you
way
are?
there.
I cannot express how happy
On the
I'm
way
not.
there, and then we're on the same flight on the way back. I don't know what the what the Erdls are doing, like what time they're leaving.
They're like on a different schedule than us, but
Because we're leaving the same day they're leaving.
oh, okay. Well, I'm really excited, especially like being in Europe. It just makes me realize how little I've seen the world and how much we have to see.
I know. I want to.
And I am very French and German, so let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple other things I wanted to bring up because we were talking about it and it was just like shit that popped into my head that I was like, this is good podcast fodder. Okay, somebody was talking about curfews. Oh, I was listening to Little Dicky
Okay.
on a podcast and he was talking about his curfews. And we all three had such different curfews.
Did Bailey even have a curfew?
No. I mean,
She didn't leave the house.
I did, but if I was like, Mom, I'm going to be late. She's like, okay, that's fine.
She's like, good. You're hanging out with friends.
And it's almost
Glad
like
that you're out.
Mom and Dad base their curfews off of how bad you wanted to stay out. And if you wanted to stay out so bad, your curfew was so early.
Yeah.
And if you didn't give a fuck, your curfew was non-existent.
Yeah.
Like me, I was like, I could stay out forever and ever and ever. And they're like, good, your curfew's 11 p.m.
Yeah. I think mine was midnight. 11 or midnight.
Maybe at midnight.
Maybe at midnight.
Senior year, mine was midnight. I think that's a fair curfew.
I think it is too.
Yours was nothing.
It was midnight.
But like you never wanted to go out.
I was out. I was fine. I did have friends and I did go out.
You did?
Yeah.
Like how often?
Like once a quarter.
I'd say once a weekend. There was still like times I just didn't like need it as much. Like that was like essential to your being.
It was essential to my being.
I was like, okay, cool. If I'm grounded, I guess I'm
if
grounded
you-
this weekend.
If you were stuck in the house, like it was the absolute end of the world.
and I would make it
and you would
miserable
make-
for every fucking person in the house. And it was like, oh my God, Jade's grounded. Mom, let her out of here.
And it's like all I wanted was for them to like lock you in the shop or something because you were a monster.
You should have had a cage.
I was just such a true extrovert. Like to my core.
Yeah.
And
I am
just, like,
such an extrovert.
You just did not care about authority. You basically still don't.
I don't like when people tell me what to do. It's like if you tell me I can't, it's like she thought she could. So she did.
You're the exact
She did sneak out.
in Finding Nemo when it's like, don't touch the butt, and you're like, just to touch the butt.
Oh yeah. Like but mom and dad here's the thing with mom. This is not a podcast episode shitting on mom, but like I'd be like, why can't I do that? And she'd be like, 'cause I said so. And I'm like, well, that's not going to teach me why I can't do it. So now I need to learn why.
So now I have to do
but
it.
But she probably didn't want to tell you the exact reason because then you're just going to come up with a better lie.
Well, I did it anyway. So like, why not just try to teach me like a normal, like why not try to talk to me like and teach me how to be an adult?
Because you didn't care to listen to her anyways.
Because
you were
because
not
it was
in
our
a place
dynamic.
to listen.
You were not in
And
a place to
also,
listen.
The people around mom at that time were also
Toxic.
not the ones that were going to be like, hey, you know what? Let her try this thing and maybe she's going to learn and
I
grow.
would
It was
love-
like, no, she is bad and she must be contained.
I would love to know how your high school experience would have gone with Angie in mom's life.
I think it would have been a lot better.
I think so too.
I think with Angie, our family friend who is, you know, we love Angie. She's very strict, but like she also like
She sees the big picture and she's very
yes, she's very logical. She
Yeah.
sees the big picture and she sees like, okay, like how bad can this be? And like I need this person to learn this lesson on their own.
and she doesn't like blow things out of proportion.
Yeah, like she's not dramatic. Like mom had a best friend at that time who maybe one day will tell this story, but like she was truly the most toxic fucking person I've ever met in my life. And like she's still to this day, like when I hit 30, I was like, oh my God, like there are so many things that like I am now processing from that relationship that is just pure toxic evil.
Yeah.
Like evil is the only way I can know how to describe her.
Just like,
She
Evil.
she
I
left
don't
me
know.
with so many like body issues with guys, issues with mom. Like she was truly terrible. Maybe we'll get into that. Maybe we should have like for Mother's Day we should have had like a what issues do you have with your mom?
I think we should just like take one quick minute to be like, hey mom, we
No.
love you a lot.
Mom is like the best mom ever. Mom is like literally made to be a mom, and she's such a good mom, and she's also so good at like mothering other people.
yeah.
But you know, like,
But not you?
Show me. No, I'm just saying, like, show me a woman and a mom, and like, show me like somebody who doesn't have like any sort of tension.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every parent child relationship has tension.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, this extracurricular person in her life was awful.
Yeah.
And she happens to be a mom too. And I don't know who the fuck let her be a mom, but like, she should not be a mom.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm not being dramatic when I say that, you guys know.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, one last thing, little thing I'd like to bring up is Alex Earl graduated high school or college. And I'm so worried.
Why?
I'm just like, okay, here's the thing with Alex Earl. I don't know if you guys have felt this, but like she seems like such a pure soul. Like she's very like smart and like brave to like put her shit out on the internet, and it's very bold and it's very like she has a lot of confidence.
Do you remember that one video that she it was like so fucking real? She was like in her bed and then someone like crying. Someone commented, they go, girl, there's a bug in your bed. And then she makes another video and she's like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Thank you for telling me.
But it's like shit like that. That's like why everyone loves her.
It was really tiny, thank God, but still.
But like, I'm worried because I feel like, okay, I'm worried about two things. I'm worried that like people in her life, like I want her to like be careful about the people that she keeps in her life, because like I think she is very like
I think it's just like, that's my nightmare.
it is terrible. But I'm worried that like I want her to know that like don't be so scared about having certain people in your life. Like don't be like on guard with everyone, but also like have a monitor of like who's coming into your life, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are probably so jealous of her.
I can't stop. I'm sorry.
We've got to move on.
I know, but now the more you try to keep going, the more I keep crying about it. I have not even seen this video, but he's just laughing a lot. Sorry, I think it's just like,
I wish the best for Alex
it reminds me of when I was in my bedroom and I heard a cockroach on my guitar. Bang, da, ding, ding.
No, what happened was,
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
was
I'm really not.
laying on the couch and Paige was in her bedroom at her old apartment, and there was a little fring on the guitar.
Someone
and Paige
literally
said,
showed
Baily.
I thought it was a ghost.
I'm on the couch, and it was a cockroach. We turned on the light. It was a cockroach on the guitar, and it was saying ding, da, da, ding, da, da, ding, da, da, ding. It was so scary.
Okay, I'm sorry. I really am listening, and you're scared about who she's gonna have in her life. But
Well, and I also think that like I think there's probably a lot of people around her that are probably jealous.
oh yeah,
And I just don't want that to affect her, because I feel like she's a star. I don't want that to
she
affect her.
can't help but be a star.
I know, like it is like, and I feel like a lot of the girls around her are equally as hot, equally as stylish, equally like whatever. But like Alex Earl is a star, and I don't want anything like, you know, when you're in your 20s and you're just so like conscious, and like you see people, your frontal lobe isn't fully formed yet, so you're just like comparing yourself to people, and I'm sure people want to tear her down.
Well, here's the thing. So then we just must protect Alex Earl at all costs, because
We should.
Even just today, she was posting about her friend who started like a workout line, and she's just so supportive of her friends.
Yeah.
And she is so hot. She is a star, but she's also such a girl's girl.
Yeah, she's a girl's girl for sure.
You know, and that's
And she's a sister.
We must protect, and she loves her sister.
She loves her sister.
And
she's always and her sister like and her are so us. Like she's always like her sister's always like kind of getting annoyed with her, and it's just the cutest thing ever.
Anyways, yeah, so I'm totally on board to protect
But
her
then
at all
the
costs.
other thing, I don't want girls to be comparing themselves to Alex Earl. Like you can have your own star power without being Alex Earl too.
Because she'll even be like, she'll talk about like her acne.
Yeah.
But then she's like, yeah, these boobs are fake. And
Yeah.
like she is as real as she can be. But there's always going to be people. Hell, I compare myself to Alex Earl, right?
I know.
But
As 34-year-old, I'm literally fucking 15 years older than her.
it's also, I'm just like, damn, like she's got it going on.
She's got it going on. But I also worry, like, and I'm sure Alex Earl does too, is like, I don't want people thinking that they need to be just like Alex Earl. Like you need to find your own thing. And I think that worries me too. Like I was just like in this like big sis like protective mode where I'm like, we must protect Alex Earl, and we also must protect all the girlies. Like the girlies must be protected, because when I was their age, I didn't have TikTok, and I'm insecure now looking at TikTok as a 34-year-old who has like life experience and logic behind me. Like people who don't have that, I just want them to know that you got to find your own thing and find your own special thing, because like everyone's different, and it's like you may not be Alex Earl special, but you're like your own self special.
Yeah.
Aww.
And I think that that's sweet. It is sweet, but I think that she's going to be fine because the only thing that she can do is continue to do what she's doing, which is yes, she's really wait, what is it? Really ridiculously good looking.
Really ridiculously good
But
looking.
she is also still so relatable. So she'll be like, "Get ready with me to go to the club," and she's looking all hot. And then the next day she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so hungover. Get ready with me. I have to go to lunch with my parents or something."
And she's like everything. She's not jaded by anything. She's like, "Oh my god, we're going to this club in Ibiza. Can you believe it?"
And then she's
It's like,
like,
yeah, you're fucking Alex Earl. You can go anywhere in the world you want.
and then she's like, "Oh my god, look at my bedroom. It's
Yeah, like it
so
has
messy."
a cockroach in it.
It was just a tiny bug.
Yeah. No,
tiny
her
cockroach.
Casa Amor had tons of cockroaches.
Oh
in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But yeah, those are just things that kind of like were on my mind lately.
Okay.
Anything
Wow.
else before we get into
The last thing I
listener
have to
stories?
say is I'm really excited for this week's episode of Vanderpump Rules. So
Oh my
I'm
God,
just.
I
I'm not
know.
even fucking.
You want to know what I think I'm gonna do, girls?
What?
Are we
What?
ready,
Girls?
What are you gonna
girls?
do?
I think I'm gonna make some goat cheese balls.
Oh my god.
I know. I saw a girl on TikTok do it, and I think I'm gonna take the recipe.
Are we gonna do another watch party?
I think we have to.
I think we have to.
I think we have to for the next 3
Well,
weeks.
also, Tom Sandoval, he was just in Austin. And
I-
he's dating a girl in Austin. Okay, this is
Where are you?
Okay,
Come on the podcast.
Where are you? Okay, this is what I have to say about Tom Sandoval being in Austin.
Okay.
For somebody who the world is burning around him, he chose to go to the Proper Hotel Bar, which is an excellent hotel bar to go to. I love getting a drink at the Proper, but like it is a see and be seen spot.
Yes.
He was also wearing chevron, and not like Missoni chevron, like literally like Rick Rack chevron that you would wear in like 2011.
I was gonna say like 2008, like on your bedroom walls.
Yes, and it was black and white. It looked fucking disgusting. They were shopping at Reformation on South Congress, which is just like, hello, like Reformation, you like walk out, there's a million fucking girls shopping there. And she's like in the mirror, like, and she looks like a cute girl, like a blonde girl, whatever. They were also working out at Equinox, which, hello, see and be seen. He was in Allen Boots. He was all up and down fucking South Congress, which he should be able to go wherever he needs to go. I'm not saying he should. I don't think Tom Sandoval's life should be over because of this huge mistake he made. But also it just felt like a little gallivanting around the city during a very public time of his life.
Yeah, his life does not need to be over, but he does not need to be gallivanting, exactly
Well,
as you say, where he's like, beep, 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 I'm gonna spray my seed all over Austin, I'm gonna do
Well,
whatever.
and it's like this week of all weeks, like it is the highly anticipated finale. Like people were throwing watch parties all over the city, all over the country.
This is why he's doing it. He
I know, but like
fucking lives for this. He loves this.
I know, and it's just I don't understand who his PR team is. Who's Raquel and Tom's PR team? Because they are shitting the fucking bed with this.
No, we're talking about him right now.
But in a terrible way. Like it's not playing the long game. Ariana's team played the long game. She shut the fuck up for all those months. She did barely any brand deals. She gave like the highly anticipated interview for Watch What Happens Live, and then she went
slayed.
slayed the fucking look.
fucking-
She was very concise. She didn't give too many details. She answered the question. She didn't give too many. She didn't take you on a tour of like, oh, this is why I did
There
this.
was nothing like, I don't want to talk about it.
Or like, well, you have to understand, like, I'm painting a story like, okay, well, why did you and Tom not do this? She didn't over explain herself. She was very concise and very articulate. And unlike Tom Sandoval on Howie Mandel, where he was like just blah, 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 like words all over the fucking place, word salad.
My new favorite TikTok that I saw was a clip of Tom's interview where they're like, he's talking about Raquel. She's just so intelligent. She's smart. And then it clips to her talking about Sheena's second wedding. And she's like, no one knows what love is.
Oh, with the puppet part, with the little
puppet part.
yeah.
And I was cracking up.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I am really excited. The thing I'm most anticipating for the finale is I want to hear more from Raquel because
we didn't get to talk to her.
We barely got to talk to her. And I feel like this is probably me being like internalized misogyny, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm fucking more mad at Raquel, I think. because I just like hate Tom Sandoval, and like I've always kind of
it's
not
like
liked him.
expected from Tom Sandoval because he does this. And Raquel, it just feels like more of a betrayal from a girlfriend than this guy, where it's like, oh shit, like I got in this relationship the same way he's like getting out of this relationship. I still think he's more evil, but I really put the blame on both of them, but I think it just hits so much different.
I think it was easier to get all the rage out on Tom Sandoval because, oh my God, he's disgusting. He's so much. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at his mustache. Like, we got all of that rage out. And it's like, well, where the fuck is Raquel?
Yeah.
Where, like, we haven't been able to, like, put any anger on her because she's been gone.
Yeah.
So now we already got that out on Tom, and now, like, where is she? I'm mad at her, too. So it's like, well, now I'm more mad at her because I haven't been able to shit on her mustache.
Yeah. And her proverbial mustache.
Exactly.
Right. Which is like, I'm really excited to see how the whole reunion shakes out. And Bravo has been like fucking bringing it with the editing. So I think we're in for a real treat.
We all are.
So let's get into some listener stories.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
I love the pod and have shared with all my friends a true fourth branch sister.
Thank you.
For context, I'm one of 3, the baby, but with an older sister and a brother. Okay, so I need to know when Jade started dating Mark and what did the sisters think? And did their opinions change as the years went on? I'm currently struggling because when my sister, the oldest of the family, first started dating her now husband, we'll call him Jake, I was in college. I was very into drinking, and going out with Jake so Jake would take me out to very cool bars and buy me all the drinks. She wasn't 21 at the time. He seemed great throughout my college years. Jake proposed after I graduated college. At first, I was very excited and helped pick out the ring and everything. As we planned the wedding events, I started getting weird gut feels about him, but never said anything. Now they're married, and I feel sad for my sister, though she is seemingly very happy. It's hard to hear/know about the really bad times that they go through and still support the relationship. He definitely has a drinking problem and won't admit to it and turns into a big dick. When I look back on those days, I feel like I was love bombed by him to gain my support for the relationship, as my sister and I are best friends. I have and will keep my mouth shut, as it's not my life to live, but it just sucks watching from the outside. Just curious if any of the sisters caught any red flags of Mark and if they said anything. Lots of love, a fourth branch sister.
Very
I think this is
good
really
one.
good, and I think we can pull on Mark and Tyson.
Yeah. I was going to say that too. Because, okay, so let's go Mark. He's kind of easier.
Well, so from my point of view, I really liked Mark.
Mark and I started dating when I was like 23 and a half, almost turning 24. And then we got divorced when I was 30.
Well, and the thing about Mark is Jade didn't live in Texas at the time, so we would only see them really for Christmas, Thanksgiving, something like that. So just a couple times a year, unless we went to go visit you.
Yeah.
But no more than like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And all of those trips were really good times. And before we knew there was issues with Mark, the only thing that I remembered is that he would get sick a lot when he would come visit, but it wasn't even annoying. It was just like, oh, that's sad that he's like sleeping upstairs, you know, and not able to like hang out with the family. But there was nothing that I didn't see any red flags before you told us anything. Right. So I really liked Mark. And then we found out about the addiction. Yeah. And then that's when everything started shifting, because I'm like, oh my God, so this has been, what's been a lie? What's been a lie? What's been real? Oh, he wasn't sick. He was, didn't bring enough of what he needed. Like, so, and I remember having a conversation with him when he was sober, so we thought, and he really liked working out was something that helped him like maintain his sobriety. And so I was really into spinning at the time. So I was going to a spin class over Christmas, and I invited him with with me, and it was just me and him. And I asked him, I was like, basically, like, you good? Like, like, are you good now? Like, you put my sister through a bunch of shit. Are you good? And he was like, I'm really sorry. Yes, like, I'm on a good path now. Everything's good. And then when he relapsed again, like, I took that one really personally.
Because he lied to you.
Because he lied to me.
Because he was using that whole time that he was in town.
And that was the one that I knew that I still care for him as a person. I feel for him as a person. He was my first brother.
Yeah.
You know, I still really care for him. But that was when I was never going to trust him like a brother ever again.
Yeah.
Baily?
I don't know. I also took like a lot of the things kind of personally because I went through something like very like intense through college, and he like made sure to take the time and be like, hey, are you okay? I wasn't ready to talk about it. He's like, no, we're going to talk about it. This is really important to get these things out there. We're going to be very vulnerable because I'm going through something too. And it was like, wow, we are a family. We are doing this.
Yeah.
And also he was still using that whole time too. Yeah. So it's like, uh-oh, are we vulnerable?
It's like,
are we
it
a family?
almost feels like
no.
everything's a lie.
Well, and I mean, and that's where it is difficult because he did care about you in your situation and was trying to relate, and so that part was genuine. But then on your end, where you think, okay, we're two people going through these two experiences, bonding, and yet you're being as truthful on your end, and then finding out that he's not, it's like, okay, well then what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, then why did you even, like, why did you make me bare my soul when you weren't going to bare your soul?
Right.
Honestly, I didn't see any red flags other than what you were telling us until you were in Austin. And you were like, these are the texts that I'm getting right now.
Yeah.
I was like,
that was wild.
Crazy when
this is, because you were like trying to keep up like
appearances.
Okay, you didn't
like
want
everything's
us to
fine.
worry about you because you still lived in California and there was nothing any of us could do, especially like mom.
Well, and it gets to a point where like you don't want to tell your family about every fight, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so I haven't told them about all these like smaller things that have led up to this big thing. And then how big is this big thing?
Yeah.
Because for a while it was like, we have it handled, and until we don't, right?
Yeah.
And then, so I totally get why it took a while for you to say everything.
Well, and it's so me to just kind of like handle my shit myself. And it's so opposite from you, Paige. To
oh
like,
my God.
Paige would be telling us every little, well, except for with Tyson. So like, let's get into Tyson. Okay, so Tyson, from the moment I met him, I did not like him. I felt extremely uncomfortable around him.
But also because you lived in California, I was here with them and I was like, okay, Tyson's like kind of weird.
No,
but you know,
like,
we're going to keep doing this. And we have like
I'll never forget the very first time I met Tyson was when Paige was living in her apartment. And I don't think you had told us that he had kind of like moved in yet. I don't even think he'd officially moved in, but he acted like that apartment was yours. And the way he was just like bossing around that apartment, I was like, I don't fucking like this person at all. And I remember one time you called me, you're like, we're getting a joint credit card because like Tyson just thinks it's better because like we're going to do blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's not a good idea. And
like me and Mark don't even have a joint credit card.
Well, me and Mark did have a joint credit card when we were just dating, but I was like, it's different. Like, and I can tell it's different. I can't even like express to you, because at that point I didn't know how abusive Tyson was, but I was like, this is not good. This is not fucking good. And then that trip was like the nail in the fucking coffin. I fucking hated him. And I will never forget because this is also when I was going through really bad times with Mark. It was right after everyone knew he was an addict, but like we were in this like weird last half of like our relationship almost. And we were out for the day and it was Baily and her ex, mom and dad, Paige and Tyson, and me. And we were at this restaurant called The Grove, and we'd always fucking go to The Grove, and I'm like, why do we always have to go to this restaurant? Can you guys, when I come to town, can you take me to one other fucking restaurant? But so it was like, let's just have like the best time ever. So I was like, everyone gets a code name, and like we have to call each other these code names throughout the day, and if you don't, then you have to drink. And it's just like a funny little thing because we were having like a long day, and we're like I was,
you were Jester,
I was
and Mom was Esther.
Mom was Esther. Like it was just funny. And everyone was down except for Tyson.
Yeah.
And he was so fucking angry. I forget what his name was.
Don't remember. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Like someone was Axel because that was like the name that we named our dog until we had to change
Axel.
it. But it was just so fucking funny. And then like the turd in the shorts of the whole day was Tyson. And I'll never forget, like I couldn't put my finger on like, cause he was just like uncomfortable to be around, you know, like when you're petting a dog and you go up against the grain, that's what it was like being around Tyson. It was just like that feeling, just like, and we were walking down 6th Street and Paige like stepped on something that like wobbled. It was like one of those like pothole things.
The manhole.
A manhole. And he was like, oh my God, what are you going to do? You're going to do this again? You did this last week. Blah, blah. Like
Because
literally.
last week, or it was like a couple days before or the week before, I was walking by the pool and I stepped on the
skimmer
basket cover, and it was broken, so my shin got completely ripped open because my foot fell like through into the skimmer basket. So it's like, one, I'm the one that got hurt, and
But
he's like
what
mad
does that
at
have to
at
do?
you for it.
What
So
does
he's
that have
like-
to do with fucking Tyson?
So exactly. So he's like mad at me that I'm so fucking clumsy that I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna fall in the fucking manhole this time.
But it's like all this tension of him having to be around our family and having fun was like, you could just tell he was like waiting to get something out on you. And then
he did.
And he did.
He did
And
later.
I was like, clocked it. I was like, that's fucking crazy. Then we continue on with our day. And he just is like the wet fucking blanket of the entire day. And then we go to see Esther's Follies, which by the way, if you're ever in Austin and you need something to do with like a parent or something, that is like
It's so fun.
It's so much fun. I took Mr. Roberts and he had the time of his life. He's like, I can't believe I've never heard of this place. So we have like the best fucking family day, that probably top 5 family days of like my adult life. And I'll never forget, we are leaving and there's this guy and he is just like out of his mind, and he's like trying to talk to Paige, and Paige is like, blah, like whatever, like I'm not gonna talk to you. It's like this homeless guy, and he's like out of his mind, and he's like, hey, we're not gonna do this. And I'm like, stop. I like got in Tyson's face. I was like, don't fucking talk for her. She can handle herself.
Yeah, I
We're
live
all
in, I
around
live in
her.
Austin. I've been to 6th Street a million times. Like I know how to handle.
Not even that. You are around your entire family.
Yeah, right.
You don't need somebody who's like, and he was yelling at you for talking to this guy, and it just like rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like I'm like in a therapy session right now. I don't know why I'm going so deep with this, but like that day, I'll never forget it. And then the next day we met at El Alma for lunch with Mom and Dad, and I was in the car and I was like, I do not like Tyson. And Mom was like, Jade, stop. And I was like, no, I'm telling you, I really, really, really don't like Tyson. And Mom was like, well, there's a lot of things I don't like about all of your significant others.
Yeah, I remember saying that because I was in the same fucking car. I was like,
She
okay.
was talking about your
She
ex.
was like, well, my ex-boyfriend.
And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, obviously, you know, my ex is an addict, so like that's what like of course you're talking about that, but like I'm talking to you about this like major red fucking flag. And she was like, just basically drop it. And then we met up with you and Tyson, and I was like,
Yeah, mom was afraid that if something was said that it would push me further away, and so to where I wouldn't join in those like family days, and you know that I was just going to be like way more attached to Tyson.
yeah.
So
that's what I was afraid of too.
Yeah.
See?
But every single time and I think I was staying with Baily that night, and we got back and I was like, I fucking hate Tyson. And oh wait, I said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
did.
no.
It's okay. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah. Baily and whatever his name is. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know what kind of advice to give you. What do you guys think?
I think, well, Bailey, you talk.
I think that you just love your sister and listen to what she needs, but also if she says, what do you think about my situation? You come
be honest,
correct with receipts and be like, I didn't like when this happened. I didn't like when this happened. It's not like, I don't like the vibe that I get from him. Like, come with examples and be like, I felt bad when this happened. Where it's, you know,
maybe even ask her, how are you, you know, after he has one of his like blow ups or whatever, like a couple days after, how are you doing after the situation that happened Friday night? Are you doing okay? Just to check in. I think that I would still lie to you guys if you ever asked me that, but I feel like eventually, like, depending on like the night, I might like cry because the day that I don't know how intense I should get, that the day that things got the most physical with Tyson, I was having to go meet Baily, and he was like, you have to pull it together, you have to stop crying, we're about to go see your sister. And I was like bawling because I was like, I cannot look her in the eye knowing what just happened, and that I'm walking into this restaurant with you knowing what just happened. And that was also the first time that anyone else, because the situation had really escalated, and I screamed for someone to enter the room to assist, and it was a friend, and they helped, but I'm like, how am I going to look Baily in the eye and not just like completely start like crying and be like, something's bad?
And then we all went to dinner together, the person who intervened and Paige and Tyson and me, and I was like, I don't know what happened, and we got hibachi.
But then there was two peoples that intervened. One was a girl, one was a guy, and the guy had like taken Tyson and like grabbed him, kind of like held him away, and the girl immediately like shoved me into the little like toilet part of my bathroom and like locked the door. And I really need to reach out to her. Like, I really, really do, because I did not know her very well. We worked together, but we never interacted. And this was like the first time we were hanging out. So she did not know me. She did not owe me anything. And she was like, this is not okay. No, I don't care what the conversation was. This is never okay. I'm scared for you. And I know that you don't know me, but here's my number. Please call me if you want to stay at my place tonight. And obviously I didn't, but that is she was the first person that knew and that saw things, and she did not know me, and she was the first person to be like, I'm there for you, like, I got you. Yeah. You know? So I should reach out to her and be like, thank you.
You should.
I should. Yeah. So back to advice. I think that you need to make it known to your sister that like you're there for her and that there is a way out if she wants it. And I think that you don't have to be so overt because like you guys weren't overt, but I think if you just say like Paige said, like, hey, like, how are things going? And then if they're like, oh, it's okay, blah, 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 because I'm sure they will, then you just say like, good, like, I'm glad, but like, you know, if anything were to ever happen, like,
or if you ever want to talk about anything,
like, if you ever want to talk about anything, I'm here, and I'm not going to judge your situation. I'm your safe space. Like, I'm not going to hate this other person just because you need to vent. But, and also, like, you can say, if you ever like need anything, you are our priority, and there's always a way out for you.
And a light way to start a conversation would be like, hey, I'm going to drink tonight. We're going to have a no drinks game night at my house. Come on over. Because if she's worried about like the husband drinking too much, it's like, okay, let's take drinking off the table and let's like still hang out, you know?
Yeah. Well, that was really intense. So I think that's like probably, we're good on time. Yeah. So I think that we should probably wrap this up. But this was a really good episode, I think. I talked a lot, so I hope that that's okay with everyone, including whoever the fuck wrote that review.
I think it was pretty bearable.
The only thing I'm going to say is, since we did talk a lot about like domestic violence type things, it would be nice, and not that your sister is in that situation, but you talking about that led me to my story, and that's like a thing. So just wanted to say, if anyone is in a situation that you feel unsafe in, the hotline you can call is 800-799-7233, or you can text START to 88788. So just in case anyone ever needs that, it's there. But yeah, we can.
A healthy queen. And we can like talk more about this kind of stuff because I feel like we can go on forever about it. But so next week, what were we going to talk about? Something about high school? Oh,
I think rivals.
Rivals.
I think that would be fun because of the poopy pizza.
Okay, so I will tell the story about the poopy pizza incident, and maybe I'll get in more to like moving to a new school, because I feel like I had a very intense situation where I moved from California to Texas, which was like kind of crazy, in the middle of high school. And then all the girls in my high school were truly out of their minds, but we love them. And then so like write on about anything that has to do with that.
Yeah, like any high school experience, moving to a new place, like having crazy like your school versus like your rival school, like competitions or
like,
whatever.
I can go on about like inter-school rivalry too.
Yeah, or seniors versus the juniors.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, write in.
Yeah, and then make sure to share this episode with all of your friends. Just send it in a text. Just say, hey, listen to this one while you're cleaning the house, honey.
I forgot to tell you guys, I took someone's phone today and I was going to follow Your Poor Dad on their Spotify, and they were already following us.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah, do that to your friends. Take their phone. Follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
All right. Say goodbye.
Goodbye now.